first one is we need to focus on the law of the Lord. That comes into play in Psalms 1, verse 2. Whose delight is in the law of the Lord, and who meditates on his law day and night. From Psalm 1, we see that if you focus on God's word, you will be blessed. Joshua focused on the law of the Lord, and he was blessed. He led them into the promised land. He gave them a charge in Joshua 24:15. Can you read that, Holden?
But if serving the Lord seems undesirable to you, then choose for yourselves this day whom you will serve, whether the gods your ancestors served beyond the Euphrates, or the gods of the Amorites in whose land you are living. But as for me and my household, we will serve the Lord.
Old Testament history shows us that when the Israelites focused on God, they were blessed. When they didn't, they were sick, they got conquered, and they lost their homes. My second point is that people who focus on God's word will grow and be strong, like a tree planted by the water in Psalms 1:3. Trees by the water grow tall and strong, and they live long. The water gives them the nutrients they need to grow. Think about this passage from Colossians 1, verses 9 through 12.
For this reason, since the day we heard about you, we have not stopped praying for you. We continually ask God to fill you with the knowledge through His knowledge of His will, through all the wisdom and understanding that the Spirit gives, so that you may live a life worthy of the Lord and please Him in every way, bearing fruit in every good work, growing in the knowledge of God, being strengthened with all power according to His glorious might, so that you may have great endurance and patience, and giving joyful thanks to the Father who has qualified you to share in the inheritance of His holy people in the kingdom of light.
If we focus on God's word, we'll please God, we'll bear good fruit, and we'll be strong even in storms. We'll also share His kingdom in heaven. This reminds me of the old oak tree at the house I once lived in Cottontown. It's 200 years old. Thanks. It's strong and stood up to very many storms. It was planted by a creek, so it's really well watered. That tree, it's been around a while. I have one last point for you. The wicked who don't focus on God, they're like chaff that's blown away by the wind. Chaff is the outer seed covering on the wheat. It's very light and useless. And during the harvest, farmers would blow it away from the good grain. I don't have chaff, but I have sawdust and dirt. The sawdust came from the Bradford pear trees I've been helping my dad cut down and haul off. The trees look pretty good on the outside, but when we cut them down, we found mud and sawdust inside because their hearts were rotten. I brought some sawdust with me to show you how easily it's blown away. I don't know about you, but I'd rather be a strong tree than a pile of sawdust. The Bible talks a lot about choosing good people to spend with. One such verse is Proverbs 13:20.
Whoever walks with the wise becomes wise, but the companion of fools will suffer harm.
Not only do we want to be righteous people, we want to keep righteous companies. We're almost done, but I have time for one last story. A few weeks ago, Michael was climbing the magnolia tree in the front yard. I was outside with my back turned, and I heard a loud crack and a scream. I turned around to see Micah face down on the ground. Turns out Micah had tried to hang from a dead branch and ended up falling 9 feet out of a tree. Thankfully, nothing was broken, but it hurt him a lot. If you come away with nothing else tonight, remember to choose well. Choose God's word rather than the word of the world. God's word helps us through life. Thanks for listening. Oh, I got one more joke. What do you get when you cross a dentist, a tree, and an artificial waterway?
Dentures.
A root canal.
Oh.